What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
Good morning, everybody. It's your favorite truck driver, ex-truck driver in the whole wide world. Live from California. Yes, they let me in. I drove across the Californian border and they pulled me over and they checked me out and they said, "How do we know that you're not a conservative or a libertarian?" And I said, "Don't you misgender me." And then they let me go. So I'm good. So if anyone asked, my name is Lila, right? FYI, while I'm in Cali. Welcome to the show, guys. Hope you got your Red Bull, also known as mouthwash, and coffee and cigs. Because today we are going to talk about the world global financial system and how wonderful it's working. Oh, it's absolutely amazing. It is. All of the money you have in your bank is not yours. Any time that you apply for credit, they want a copy of your DNA. They want every right you ever had. That goes away. They want to know your name, your mom's name, your dad's name, your mom's name, your dad's name, your great-grandmother's second cousin's hamster's name. They want to know everything about you. That's going away. And they're scared sheetless. Sheetless, I tell you. Because of the new property. The new property, what is it? It is Bitcoin. This is the first digital asset that you can hold and you can lend against. Now, let me explain why they are so afraid of the new system. And what's going on with the old system that is so crappy. Hang on one second. There we go. Number one, why do we need a new system? Because the old system is a lie. Everything is a lie in the old system. Everything is actually based on non-sound money that they print. Now, when you have an economic system, a global economic system that is reliant on money they can print, then that lets you know the whole system was made to manipulate. That's how it was created. That's how it was built. Remember, the Federal Reserve System was created so they could manage the market. Now, anything that is managed is not real, right? You can't have real price without a open market. You can't. It's impossible, because if you are managing the market, you are managing the money, you are managing the interest rate, which is the cost of the money. Think about this. They print the money, and then they set the interest rate that they will loan you the money they just made out of thin air. That's a pretty good job if you can get it. This is absolutely a system that was created with an end in mind. Now, what do I mean when I say that? All right, when you're on a road trip, you have an idea of where you're going to end up at. How you get there, you work it out. But you have an idea of where you're going to end at. When they created the Federal Reserve, they had an idea and a knowledge of where this system would end, because everyone, especially the communist economics who actually created the system, they know it ends at a war. At a war that the little guys, the average user of the currency, loses. The system wins. The government wins, because this system was set up to slowly remove the purchasing power and labor value of the people using the currency. I don't know I don't know who originally said it, but it's completely accurate. They basically pay you in ice cubes. And they say, here you go, here's your ice cube that you earned this week. And as time goes by, that ice cube gets smaller and smaller. And if you put that ice cube out and you save it, it's going to melt away eventually. And that is the system they created, because the liquid, as it melts, the liquid energy of the ice cube goes into the federal government system. It's why we have such a huge government system, is because remember, they didn't produce anything. The government was created using the economic energy of the people. That's how, because government doesn't produce anything. It isn't, oh, I'm going to swing over and I'm going to grab a government hammer or a government hamburger. No, they don't produce anything. Government is just a group of ledgers of money, of your money, of my money, of our money. They produce chaos. That's it. Because chaos, in accordance with the government, is controlled chaos. Everything is controlled chaos, because they use taxation, regulation, laws, and NGOs, non-government organizations, which, isn't it odd, they call it non-government organizations. That kind of sounds like the Patriot Act. It ain't got nothing to do with fucking patriotism. And the non-government organizations, if you're non-government, you don't have to say non-government. It's a government organization that just isn't labeled as a government organization. This whole system is a lie. This whole system, since the Civil War, is a lie. It's a lie that the government has authority over its citizens. See, you and I, we were born. And then as soon as we are born, we are the property. That's how they view us. Human resource. We are the human resource of the government. See, what is the economy is so reliant on the regulatory required jobs. 23% of our GDP, think about this, they don't produce anything. 23% of our GDP comes from the government. GDP, but they don't produce anything. They are leeches off the system. They print up money. That's why we're $100 gazillion in debt. See, that's something else. The debt is absolutely the government's fault. It's not your fault. You didn't go into debt. All right. You didn't say, you know what? I'm going to put that brand new tank on my credit card. I'm going to put the brand new toilet in the White House on my credit card. It's not your, this is the equivalent of if your son, or no, let's flip that. Let's say you're a son and your dad heads out and gets into a bunch of debt. And then your dad says, boy, the family owes a lot of money. The fuck you mean the family, motherfucker? The family doesn't owe any debt. It's you, you shithead. You're who went out and fucking got all this friggin' debt. No, but the family owes it. Well, I'll tell you what, Dad, why don't you take your family and shove it up your ass? Because that's what the government looks at us like. We are the labor providers. We are the laborers of the economy. We produce shit or offer services, then the government puts its little mafia hands in it and says, oh, you owe us our cut because you happen to live here. Right. We are victims of our government because the government is the aggressor. It isn't your neighbor. It isn't even the God, what do they call transgendered people? That's not your enemy. Yeah, they might be funny to look at and kind of laugh at, but they're not your enemy. The enemy is your government. And unfortunately for us, America has reached a point where a lot of weak people have joined the side of the government. And their job, what they live for, is to make sure if you make money, they get their cut. So they can go to Wally World and fucking buy $1,000 worth of food without any production. And the crazy little truth is EBT, all right? EBT is inflationary. Why? Why is it inflationary? Because that $1,000, that wasn't produced money. That was printed money. And when you don't produce, but you consume, your existence is inflationary. Let me explain. Look at if you're at home in your household and you head out and you charge a bunch of shit on your credit card. You are consuming. Well, in the free market and at the grocery store, you are consuming a good. That means there's one less apple for other motherfuckers to get apples. Well, you ate that apple, and that one apple is a calculation in production of apples. And if you're consuming apples without producing an equivalent into the society, then the prices will naturally rise, because then the production isn't equivalent to consumption, and you consume more than you produce, and that leads to inflation. We have a government that relies on all of us consuming, so they can hide the printing. They can replace production. All we hear about right now is growth. Man, America just needs growth. Growth, growth, growth. You listen to CNBC, Bloomberg, growth, growth, growth. They don't mean production. If they did, they'd say production. They mean money printing. We need nominal growth, not real growth, nominal growth, which means numbered growth, nominal growth. That means, hey, we just need to print more money so that the prices rise, so the GDP looks better. See, GDP, gross domestic production. A good friend of mine brought up a great point. Shouldn't it be the NTP, which would be the net growth production, and not the, net domestic production and not gross? Because gross is not an accurate number of what we produce. It's all a lie. It's all using words that make you think one thing but really means something else. It is the progressive way. We live in a system, but the system's going down, guys. And why is it going down? Because it was created to go down. We live in a Keynesian economic system. Keynesian, even the Keynesiast will tell you this. Keynesianism does not equal out. It wasn't meant to equal out, which means 2 minus 1 equals 1. Keynesianism admits that it doesn't equal out, because you're always injecting the government debt into the economy. And they say, oh, don't worry. This is government debt. We can print as much as we want, because the government will never not pay its bills. We will print money until our bills are paid. This is why the system's dying, because it was meant to die, and it was meant to die now. This is their great reset. All right, the great reset it isn't in a moment. It isn't all of a sudden we're from here to here. Voila, there you go. One day we're wrapped up. This is The Great Reset launched in about 1888. That's when the Great Reset began. Or shall we say that's when the light was lit under the pot that had all us frogs in it. That's when they launched the fire under the pot and said, all right, let's slow cook them. Let's give it 100 and something years, and let's slowly, totally kill these people. Now, for those of you, let me explain something. War is not natural. We've heard a lot of, well, if you want to accumulate land, you got to go to war. You just got to go to war. Really? Because, well, let's see. How'd we get the Louisiana Purchase? We bought it. We didn't go to war with France. We bought it. We negotiated and we bought the Louisiana Purchase. Alaska. How'd we get Alaska? We bought it. But that is back because remember, Alaska, Louisiana Purchase, we bought it with gold and silver, with real hard assets that in the Louisiana Purchase deal, the French knew the gold we would send them was gold and that they could use that gold to take care of some shit they were in the middle of. War is robbery. War is violent robbery. That's what it is. And every country has an agenda. Ever since, well, really, we could go way, way back to 1760. Europe has always viewed itself here, Great Britain. Let me say it like this. Great Britain has always relied on itself as an empire. Great Britain was the largest empire for 300 years. America, Great Britain, see, a lot of people think that we won the Civil War. All right, I'm sorry, we won the Revolutionary War and Great Britain just left us alone. That was, we lost the war. Shit, hell with it. Not even close. See, wars never end. They just change how they look. Right now, we are in a global monetary war. We're in, look at this. We're in a global monetary war. We're in a trade war. We're in every war except the hot war yet. And the hot war, yesterday, our boy from, our good friend Zelensky, that shithead little midget, he actually met with the leaders of Europe yesterday. Now, I'm sure they went there and they said, you know what, Zelensky? It's over. It's over. Let's just work out a deal with Russia. No. See, Europe wants Russia. They've wanted Russia for freaking ever. Now, when I say want Russia, after 1989, a lot of Europe went in and they bought up a lot of Russia-ish. Well, in the 1990s, whenever Putin was elected, shit changed, folks. See, Putin was Russia's Trump. That's what Putin was. He basically went out went in and kicked out all of the bankers. He kicked out the Rothschilds, and they did not like that because they wanted Russia. Guys, I don't know if you know how large Russia is. Russia ain't small, right? It actually goes from Europe to China. It's a big damn country. Tons of natural resources. Tons of natural resources. Now, mind you, a lot of it is cold as shit, but you know what? When you're the government, you aren't the actual person out there in fucking Siberia, looking for coal or oil or anything like that. You're the guy in the office who says, hey, send some people out there. Exactly. Listen to this. Russia has 11 time zones. Let that sink in. 11 time zones. America has, what is it, 3 or 4? Wait, 1, 2. I think it's 4. All right, we have 4. They got 11. Folks, anyone who thinks that Russia is looking for more land has lost their ever-loving motherfucking mind. Russia don't need more land. They got a shit of land. Yes, actually, at ST985TUC, you're right. America technically has 5 because of Hawaii. And I think part of Alaska. Yeah, we got 5. They got 11. All right. This is absolutely ludicrous. Europe, mind you guys, I told you guys last week, Europe is already setting up for a draft in Germany, Poland, all these other places. They're setting up, well, maybe not Poland. I think they're getting a little nervous over in Poland. They are setting up for a military draft. Now, you don't set up for a draft if you don't plan on drafting. All right, this is not a setup for the draft practice run. That's not how drafts work. We have Europe. Remember, Europe is weak, guys. Weak. They have screwed themselves with this whole green shit. It's like, hey, here in Germany, we produce a couple of cars and a bunch of fucking windmills. Yeah, good for you. What, are you going to throw fucking windmill blades at us? They've got nothing, but this is their only hope, and that's why they're going after the financial system. The financial system is the only system that they slightly have any control over left. Remember, the euro dollar is dead. That shit went away last year. In 2000 and what was it, 19? Yeah, in 2019, the euro dollar went bye-bye. They got rid of the COMEX, right? And the euro dollar is how Europe was controlling the dollar. See, America, the Federal Reserve, and America was not controlling the dollar. It was the Europeans that were controlling the dollar through the euro dollar market, European US dollar market. That market was 4 times larger than the American dollar market. This is crazy, but it's good because it's over. And the Federal Reserve, they know they're fucked. Oh, hang on one second. Word from the sponsor. Oh, wait a second. We go here. We go here.
Your Bitcoin's sitting idle. Time to make it work. Private Key Capital, the world's first fully Bitcoin-backed financial institution, lets you earn 4% APY on your Bitcoin. Enjoy Bitcoin savings accounts, secure custody, Bitcoin-backed loans, fiat on-off ramps, and exclusive member benefits. This is crypto banking reimagined. Early members get the best rates. Join Private Key Capital today and start earning 4%.
And we're back. Smoke them if you got them, boys. Because we at war. We at war, and the average American ain't got a fucking clue about it. But luckily, don't worry, your favorite ex-truck driver always keeping his finger on the pulse of the oh shit meter. Oh shit. I'm just letting you know, the oh shit meter is pretty crazy. Oh, something else, a friend, all right, this is a little off topic, but it's interesting. We've all heard of the fear and greed gauge in cryptos. Everyone's watching the fear and greed gauge. You know who runs that? One of the companies owned by BlackRock. Wait, what? Yes. The companies that set the fear and greed gauge in the Bitcoin is ran by BlackRock. The hell you say? Exactly. Well, Ben, why would BlackRock own a few companies that set the fear and greed gauge? Because you want cheap Bitcoin. All right, I digress. It's all, everything's fake. Let's just take a moment real quick. Everything is fake. Our money is fake. Our statistics are fake. When we are looking for information, where do we go? We go and we watch shows, or we look at the government statistics. This is all propaganda. Now, I'm not saying it's aligned propaganda. It's all propaganda. Because whenever you're watching a show, even mine, I am a propagandist. I am a liberty and freedom propagandist. My agenda is to become free. My agenda is to get away from their system. Their agenda is to keep their system going. This is a world war of agendas. And some of us realize and recognize that the other side's about to make this go hot. They have to. And let me explain why they have to. All right, for those of you aware of history, did World War I have to happen? Was it set in stone? Remember, World War I, they say, was set off when one guy got assassinated. Archduke Ferdinand. Raise your hand if you have any idea who the fuck the Archduke Ferdinand was, or what he did, or even what country he was from. I'll wait. Yeah, no. World War I was set up way before World War I. World War I was when they had all the chess pieces in place. They had the communist revolutionaries, all right? They had everything set up. And then they're like, oh no, this guy got killed. We better retaliate and we better do some stuff. Really? Fucking really? No. Let me tell you something. We've all heard that Russia, or Prussia, shall we say, launched World War I, the Bolsheviks. Let me tell you this, and you look it up for yourself. The Bolsheviks were not Russian. No. Very few of them were Russians. They were communists from Europe and from America, if you want to be honest. A lot of the Bolsheviks were Americans who went over there to fight, and the revolutionaries, they were Europeans and Americans who the bankers gave money to, funded to create the Russian Revolution. It was all fake, folks. Yes, exactly. The Bolsheviks were Rothschild-backed. Absolutely. Because that was the beginning of the Great Reset. Remember, it isn't happenstance that all this shit happens right after the Civil War and after Reconstruction here in America. What do you think they were reconstructing? Yes. And Americans went over and helped with the Bolshevik Revolution. It was the progressives. It was the communists here in America and in Europe. Because remember, guys, when you think of a communist, don't think of Stalin. All right? Don't even think of Marx. Think of the leaders of the communistic money machine. See, the Rothschilds and the money lenders and the banks, they don't give a shit what system keeps them in power, as long as it keeps them in power. They don't give a shit. Let me put it this way. If the major banks could hold a system together using libertarianism, they would rally around libertarianism. Well, that's what's kind of going on right now with BlackRock right now. They know they're going to lose. They know it. That's already, they're going to lose. But they need to lose strategically. They need to lose in a way that they can point at someone, big bad Russia, big bad Russia, we got to go to war with Russia. And they have to be able to hide all of the money that has been laundered, all of the money that has just been absolutely raped out of our treasury and out of Europeans' treasuries. Folks, most Europeans are not our enemies. Your average Joe German, who's just like fucking living his life or living her life, You think they're sitting over in Germany right now saying, we must go to war with America? No, they're like, fuck this war. I'm just barely trying to get heat in my fucking house at a decent price. It's the leadership. It's the systems. This is swamp versus swamp. This is swamp on swamp crime. None of the average people want to go to war. I mean, us here in America, we don't want to have a civil war. We don't want to go to war with motherfuckers who live near us just because they're a different Republican or Democrat. The problem is the system gives these organizations leverage. See, without the government, Black Lives Matter would have lasted for about one day. They would have burnt some shit down and that would have been it. But they would have never received the NGO. Remember, they're non-government organizations. They would have never received $300 million from the CIA and the State Department. Black Lives Matter would have been a flash in the pan. Number one, they probably would have never existed because Black Lives Matter, if you know the history of it, remember, Black Lives Matter originated in St. Louis. The whole concept for all this bullshit was Ferguson. That was the test of this plan rolling out across America was Ferguson and Obama. I can remember I was a truck driver, a local truck driver at the time in St. Louis for Anheuser-Busch. This is before they went all woke and fucking retarded. Well, I remember watching on TV when the police let the protesters block Highway 44. At Highway 44 and Highway 55, they let them block the highway. Mind you, that had never happened in St. Louis before. Never. No one ever let anyone block. And well, plus it's St. Louis. Good luck blocking the highway in St. Louis. Motherfuckers from St. Louis ain't the same as other motherfuckers. We will run over you, then we will back up, grab your wallet, find your address, and go run over your mom. We're different son of a bitches in St. Louis, Missouri. We was raised different. So all of a sudden, I'm watching this and watch the police escort the protesters onto the highway. And that is when I knew this is the beginning of Cloward and Piven. Look up Cloward and Piven. That was the very beginning of what they viewed as the end, the reset, the modern reset. That's when I knew, they're kicking it off. And did Ferguson ever recover from that? No. To this day, there are still buildings that are burnt down in Ferguson. No, it did not recover. There's a reason it didn't recover, because they don't want it to recover. Remember, part of war is ownership replacement. That's part of war. Part of war is you completely destroy the infrastructure of the area. See, London, Paris, they were all destroyed, right? They were okay with that because that was the rollover for Europe into the reset. That was the European bank. Because think about this, guys. If you want to make a lot of money, what do? Halliburton, I'm talking to you, you cocksuckers. You destroy all the buildings. You destroy all of the airports and all the infrastructure, and then you get a government contract. See, people should have realized this was all bullshit as soon as they issued the Marshall Plan. The Marshall Plan was, don't worry. I know we blew the shit out of everything. We'll lend you the money. We'll lend you our money at a slight interest rate, of course. And we'll help you rebuild your country. It's the equivalent of a guy who changes windows, breaking windows in the neighborhood to fix the windows. That is called the broken window economics. All right. That's what government does. And they do it at the end of each reset. What they do is they totally fuck up the money. They screw the little people. And then when the little people are just about to rise up and kick some ass, they go, oh no, Japan hit Pearl Harbor. We must rally against those Japanians. Really? Really? 9/11, we got to go after them guys in the caves. Really? Really, really? Yes, and while we're at it, we're going to have a Patriot Act, which means if you want to get on a plane, you basically have to strip down to your birthday suit and explain to us where you're going, why you're going there. Were you approved? Do you have the correct documentation? Do you have everything? See, only a corrupt system requires management. Think about that. Only a corrupt government requires the management of their society. If they're not corrupt, they don't have to manage it. If the society is left alone, then the government is just a secretary. They manage the treasury. They manage the ledgers. That's what government originally was. This whole system is at war. And the Bitcoin is the monetary nuclear weapon that Trump is going. See, this is something else I want you guys to realize about Trump. Trump's not there to reform the government. Trump's there to cut the government into ittle-bitty pieces and return the power to the states. That's his goal. Trump wants an America of about 1830. That's what Trump wants, governmentally structured wise. That doesn't mean Trump's like, well, we're going to go back to indentured servitude. No, Trump wants a governmental structure of these United States, not the United States, because these and the are two different things. These United States, these means plural. There's more than one. The United States is a management entity of the states. That's not what it was made. That's not what the Federalists wanted. Right? The Federalists wanted a monetary system. That's what the Federalists really wanted, was a monetary system that Florida could interact with New York and all this other shit. It was purely about trade. Because let's remember, guys, Florida, Georgia, and Alabama had tariffs on Massachusetts, New York. Florida had tariffs on all of the states made their money off of tariffs. And then America made its money off of exports and import tariffs. But that wouldn't allow the government to grow. It wouldn't, because it was competitive. If Florida, no, let me use Georgia and Alabama, cotton and tobacco. All right, if Georgia had a higher tariff on their tobacco and cotton than Alabama did, then everyone would get their cotton and tobacco from Alabama. But then if Georgia's like, ah, shit, we're losing revenue, they'd lower their tariffs. See, the Civil War was just getting rid of the tariffs throughout America and moving into a centralized monetary system that was based on labor. Remember, the Civil War got rid of slavery. That's all bullshit. That's absolutely fucking bullshit. That's not what the Civil War was over. Now, that was the marketing campaign for it. That was the European created marketing campaign for the Civil War. But that wasn't it. Remember, the Civil War was at the beginning and leading into the Industrial Revolution. And America was shifting into a different gear. That shift, the elites, the bankers, Europe, Great Britain, they saw it as an opportunity. Right? Everyone says, well, Great Britain got rid of slavery before anybody. Now, that was a tactic. It was a progressive movement. And they moved it into America, and they shifted it into a marketing campaign because they wanted to centralize. Guys, do a little research on the Great Reset. Do a little research on why the government was antitrust, and to this day, antitrust. And Theodore Roosevelt, who actually launched the first ever socialist party here in America called the Bull Moose Party. The Bull Moose Party was socialism. That's all it was. They just called it the Bull Moose Party because they were tired of waiting for the Democrats and the Republicans to get on their progressive movement, shit. So they're like, we'll launch our own socialist party. trust are legal entities under common law. Well, they can't have that. They can't have common law in the society they wanted to create. They wanted civil law, civilian structured law. And they will tell you, oh, civil law is completely different from government legal law, criminal law. Bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit. Because you cannot have civil law without an overbearing centralized government. So criminal law and civil law, because civil law is just employees arguing with each other. That's what civil law is. It's you're an employee, right? You're a human resource of the government. You got your birth certificate, you got your papers. You go into a court, you're charging another employee of the government with a crime against you under civil law. Civil law is just HR management for the government. That's what civil law courts are. HR management, human resources management. Well, if everyone's going to be your employee, you have to set up a legal system inside of your corporation. Remember, these United States and the United States, two different things. After the Civil War, two different things. These United States pre-war, the United States after the Civil War, after Reconstruction. This is the system we're living in. We're all just employees arguing. That's what we're doing. We're arguing, and the plumbers are arguing with the electricians. The blue-haired liberals, who are employees, are arguing with the conservative employees. And the government is like, all right, guys, settle down. We got to have a good system running. This is all bullshit. Because who wins every NFL game? The owners. That's who wins every NFL game. All right. We are just the blue-haired Jaguars up against the conservative Cowboys. And the NFL, also known as the Fed, the U.S. government, is the owners. We argue amongst ourselves, and we fight, and oh my God, there's been a riot. Well, guys, a riot is good for business, because then you gotta fix shit. Everything that happens in the U.S., in this system, it benefits the financial sector. If Black Lives Matter sets fire to a bunch of places, guess what? This is what's crazy, guys. Let this sink in. A riot increases local GDP. So the riot was good for the economy. When you have a system set up like that, you're gonna have more fucking riots, because that's how they look at it. You think JP Morgan or BlackRock is like, ah, damn it, now we got to sell them more shit. It's all about keeping the system open, and the system is no longer just government. Now we have we have BlackRock. Why do you think the CEO, leader of BlackRock, is now the head honcho of the World Economic Forum? One of the biggest holders of the Bitcoin, their CEO is now the head of the World Economic Forum. And who did he replace? Klaus Schwab, or whatever the fuck his name was. Remember, if you're running a company, because that's what the World Economic Forum is, it's a company. If you're running a company and your CEO was Klaus Schwab, and for years he did great until they found out he was, well, no. Sorry. Oh, wow. Something happened. My shit just went blank. And I lost about 1,000 viewers. Interesting. See, there's a reason that when you tell the truth, all right, when you tell, because remember, guys, everything's implementing AI. This is why tomorrow, I want you to watch the show tomorrow, because, oh yes, please hit like and subscribe if your platform is still playing the show. Oh, wait, it just jumped back up. Oh, it's awesome. All right. AI is being implemented into all the software. And AI will recognize what you're saying instantly. And whatever isn't approved for broadcast, oh, they're going to have a glitch. I'm sorry. Broadcast just, we're having glitches. Oh, it's hallucinating. Watch tomorrow, because my good friend Patrick and I, which, hey, Patrick, hope you're feeling better, buddy. Patrick and I are rolling out a new Liberty laptop. And this is a Linux Liberty laptop, because it is now, listen to this, folks, it is now federal regulation that laptop, now mind you, all of them have already planned on this, that AI will be implemented into every laptop and computer. So you cannot purchase a laptop or a computer that isn't implemented with AI. We're rolling out a laptop that is specifically not AI and cannot be infiltrated with AI. That's what we are creating, because we have to have an exit. This is absolutely a fundamental necessity, because if every computer is linked with AI is constantly communicating outside of your laptop. It's how it freaking works. Yeah, there you go. Hey, not a bad idea. I'm going back to two cans and a string to fucking make calls. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. We have to create an alternative system. That's what we are. That's what we're doing with the Bitcoin, and that's what we're doing with our laptops, because our laptops will be the only laptops available with no AI at all. None. Okay. I've been rambling on. I've been going for over an hour, and I need another Red Bull. So, okay, guys and gals, once again, I'm going to tell you, we have loans, we have refinancing, we have 6 ways, I think 5 or 6 or 7 ways of getting you some more Bitcoin. Give us a call. We remember, no KYC on the Bitcoin, because we're a private membership organization. Private membership organization. We claim our rights to our natural rights. So give us a call or send us a text, 941-413-8080, and just ask, how can you get me some more Bitcoin? How can you get me some no KYC Bitcoin? And we will get it for you, because we are about freedom. We don't give a flying fuck about the government. The government's not our friend. The government is not good. The government is not an organization that helps you. So what do you do with an organization that is created to harm you? You don't participate. Fuck them. And the Communist Manifesto they fucking rode in on. Everyone have a great day. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow, hopefully with Patrick. See you tomorrow, guys. I love you guys. Bye-bye. Call us.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine, Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.